want y'all to think back to the last time you were able to hang out with all of your friends. Personally, I don't remember the last time I was able to hang out with them because there's always something going on. Whether that be they have classes or work or just something came up. And honestly, I've learned at this point that people can be pretty unreliable and it can be frustrating and annoying, but you know what isn't? Dogs. Humans are always seeking for connections and they actually need those connections to hold themselves together mentally, okay? And that's where dogs come in. According to Kendra Cherry, a psychological rehabilitation specialist, our social connections are our foundation for our mental health. And having long periods of time with social isolation can actually impact your mental health and your physical health. So, I want you to think back to a period in time where you weren't able to talk or see any of your closest friends for weeks, like the COVID era, an era in which 2 out of every 5 people had reported having excessive depression or anxiety, according to Deborah Rose, a holistic healthcare practitioner. So, people are always looking for these types of connections with either other people or even other species. So, according to Simon Young, a neurologist researcher, people are inherently social, okay? And those socialness is dependent on neurons. It decides whether or not you're very social or little social and how susceptible you are to mental diseases. So the first of the 2 most important neurons is serotonin. Serotonin basically decides how you interact with others in those relationships. Low levels of serotonin have been proven to increase aggressive behaviors and stress, while high levels of serotonin have been proven to increase pro-sociability. The second of which is oxytocin. Oxytocin basically determines the level of trust you have in those relationships that you create. So people with high levels of oxytocin would be much easily able to make bonds with others compared to those with low levels. In fact, people with extremely low levels of oxytocin are prone to things like paranoia, which will extremely lower your sociability. So, everybody has work, whether that be retail, office, student, teachers, but the one thing we all have in common is stress. According to Nina Julia, health and medical teacher, many people, in fact 9 out of 10 people, have reported having work stress. And there are many solutions to this type of stress, whether that be going to the gym or sleeping more or dieting and just meditating more. But they don't all have the same results. So the APA, an Association of American Psychologists, suggested having a support group, a group that will listen to you without any judgment and that is reliable and endearing to your situation. So, unconditional love is what dogs can provide for you. Dogs can provide unconditional love to all their owners, and it's really unattainable in any other place. You can't get unconditional love basically anywhere. And that connection that your dog can create for you actually increases your serotonin and oxytocin levels, making you happier, them and you, which creates a mutualistic relationship. In fact, Jody Ma, a veterinarian and writer of WAG, says that if you look into your dog's eyes for long enough, you'll have a spike in oxytocin, which will improve your well-being, reduce anxiety, and improve your trust that you have in your other connections. Connections are unique to other species. Connections are unique to species, right? And our connections actually don't go by that. We go through other species for our connections, which is unique for both dogs and animals because we look for support in other species. And that connection that we have actually releases hormones in us that'll make us happier. In fact, dogs and humans have lived together for many years, hundreds of years actually, which makes us best suited for each other. It's basically a puzzle piece. We go hand in hand. According to Daniel Epstein and Susan Tethers, both with PhDs in applied animal behaviors, dogs actually provide unconditional love through their friendly behaviors, as in greetings, lickings, following, and playing. But whenever we think of unconditional love, we can't actually get it through other people. So why can't you get it through other people? Because think about it. If your significant other were to be a serial killer or even just never shower, would you want to be around them? No, you wouldn't. But dogs, they don't care. They just love you if you love them, and they'll, even if you stink, or even if you just like go around killing other animals or people, they'll just love you. It's fine. In fact, that was seen through Myra Hindley, a mass serial killer who killed multiple children. In fact, that's the lady in the picture. And she was still seen playing around with her puppy all the time, up until the point that she was taken into jail. And according to Sarah Lynn, a former analyst at Purdue University, and Leanne Nefor, a methodologist at University of Arizona, service dogs are a great help to our mental health and improve the mental health of many people all the time. In fact, the best use of this is in military veterans that suffer from PTSD. These dogs are specifically trained to be able to help with our emotional support, being able to detect even panic attacks that are pending to happen. And not to mention their fur, which is soft and will help you reduce the anxiety and the stress that you're having. And it's just the perfect fit. So, people are always seeking these types of connections that dogs can't fill. This is why they're man's best friend. It's perfect for one another, because they can reduce that stress that we build up. They can reduce that depression that we have, and it's perfect. One meant for the other. So next time you feel overwhelmed or stressed or anxious, take some time and go down to the Companion Animal Center down here by the stadium and just go hang out with the dogs and have a great time. It's free, you can just go, and it's just a great time. Thank you.